Jason Aaron, Jim Town, and Guru search for the ultimate Tony Stark as the Ant-Man Tony Stark is forced to face his bottled up demons one final time. Jason Aaron continues assembling his Ultimate Avengers team, this time searching for another pillar in that of Tony Stark, a founding member of the Avengers and one who is needed to bring everyone together. Tony Stark and alcoholism have been done to death at this point in comic books, and this issue dives into some pretty well-treaded territory, but I like the multiverse lean to it and the idea that if Tony ever had another Tony around, he probably would have gotten through it all a lot easier than he did. It also wonderfully fits into Tony's big ego and narcissism and how of course he has to be the one to save himself, but Jason plays with it and makes the Ant-Man Tony we've been following through this entire series take a step forward in his character development and become a hero to other Tony Starks, and actually become the ultimate Tony Stark who doesn't build armors or Iron Men, but builds other Tonys into heroes, which is a really cool idea. Jim Tao and Guru do some really fantastic artwork for the series, giving us some more fun Iron Man and multiversal sequences, but all the good stuff came with a focus on Tony and the quieter character moments, most of which were left to play out silently with just the art visuals telling the story rather than the script and words. Avengers Forever issue 10 continue the cool trend of character-focused contained storylines, this time focusing on Iron Man and treading some already well-covered story points, but with a multiversal spin that added some new dimensions to the character. I'm going to give this issue an 8.5 out of 10. Avengers Forever issue 10 finds Ant-Man Tony Stark tell Robbie Reyes that he is going to puke in the Hell Charger. Robbie knows that if he does, he's riding in the trunk, which is a portal to hell. Tony takes to his whiskey again, knowing that they are losing this war and it's enough to drive a man to drink, although he's never needed much of an excuse for that. The Charger stops and so Tony pretends the Masters of Evil have stolen all the booze in the universe and it's up to the Ant-Man to stop them. He shrinks down and gets ready to jump into his booze for a swim when Deathlock tells him that there isn't anything to celebrate yet since they aren't done. Tony thinks they are since they got the Star Panther, Thor God of Fists, an army of Captain Americas, and even the Carol Corps. Tony knows that this is all of the pillars they needed, but Deathlock knows there is one more. Tony knows who it is, pleading with the Cyborg to find anyone but him. Later on, Iron Man is pursued by the Hell Charger, demanding that they leave him alone as he takes another swig of his booze, screaming about how someone has stolen the future and he couldn't stop it. Ant-Man tries to stop the drunk Iron Man, but it's too late as he flies directly into a fuel station, blowing it up and killing himself. Ant-Man and the others bury him, with Tony commenting how there was a Tony Stark even more messed up than him out there. Robbie thinks that they are wasting time as Tony tries to convince them they don't need another Tony Stark. Robbie knows that they do since it won't hold together without him, so they need to find the ultimate Tony Stark. Ant-Man wonders how hard can that be as they begin scouring the multiverse for Iron Man, heading to a world where they find the Tony Stark there was burned at the stake for creating Iron Men, since the people believed he was some type of witch. Heading to another world, they find one who has become a giant golden robot that eats planets. The being asks who gives a damn about Earth as the heroes continue their search, going through dozens of Iron Men, all who either died or entered catatonic states. They soon find a crazed one deep in a jungle cave who is trying to escape the cave he was trapped in by making the perfect Iron Man armor, going through dozens of iterations just to get it to work. He thinks his captors will kill him if he tries to leave, despite them being long dead. Ant-Man thinks that this Iron Man is onto something and maybe it's best that all Tony Starks stay in their caves. Deathlock knows that with the Masters of Evil killing tomorrows, it hurts futurists like Tony Stark the most, and there has to be a Tony out there worth something. Ant-Man wants to look at one more and then he's coming back and joining this doppelganger in the cave. The heroes head to a world where Tony Stark owns a repair shop, finding the elderly Stark is bedridden. Ant-Man asks what he did there, learning the man tried fixing whatever he could, but his own heart was the only thing he could not repair. He asks Ant-Man what he needs fixing, but Tony just wants the old man to rest, but he wants to get up and make tea. Ant-Man knows that he's got some, offering some of his booze to him, but Tony declines, since it takes a clear head to fix broken things, and to fix them properly, it takes a broken thing to know a broken thing. He knows why Ant-Man is there and who he really is, knowing people will need somebody to fix all of their things that are breaking, and he had hoped Ant-Man would come since he wants to leave him the workshop. Tony Stark soon dies and Ant-Man buries him out back, causing him to pour out his alcohol, promising the old man that he'll do his best. Ant-Man gathers up all of the booze from the Hell Charger and dumps it into the Hell Portal. Tony gives up his alcohol and returns to the Tony Stark in the cave, bringing him out and telling him that no one will hurt him and they'll do this together. He tells the cave-dwelling Tony that they don't have to stay anymore and he doesn't have to be perfect to step outside and live, wanting him to meet some others. Ant-Man soon sets up at a AA meeting at Tony Stark's repair shop, introducing many multiversal Tony Starks to one another and to the Cave Tony, assuring him that any story he wants to share, these people here will absolutely understand what he's going through. Tony knows that this was Robbie and Deathlock's plan all along, since he can't have the Avengers without a Tony Stark, and even as completely screwed up as Tony can be, it helps to be broken when it comes to fixing broken things.